And we are alive! Hello, everyone! It is so good to be live and reading. I sadly missed this morning's live on Mel's channel because I had a different appointment, which was great, but still, I missed a lot of reading. So I'm really pumped for a lot of reading today. I'll just briefly explain what we're doing for people who might be new here and for people who are not new to get them some time to come in. And after that, I would suggest to just make a round and introduce ourselves. So, what we are doing is we will be reading, everybody will be reading their own book on their own time. We have a timer up, and everybody will be reading during that time their own book in silence. We're going to be on mute. Hopefully, nobody will not. Everybody will be on mute. Let's not do like a triple negation. Um, and then once the timer is up, we'll come back and chat a little bit about the books or whatever we feel like chatting about. I mean, honestly, who knows where that's going to take us? It has taken us to fun places in the past, and I'm ready for fun places today. So that's pretty much what we're doing today. And let's just make the round that way with introductions.
Hi, I'm Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. I talk books. That's all I do. My life is books.
Oh, me. I'm Connor from Connor's Library Corner. I also just talk about books and do nothing else, really.
What are you two reading today?
I am bouncing between Furyborn or The Black Kids. I haven't decided.
Ooh.
Have you started Furyborn? It looks.
I did start it via audiobook, and then I decided to just strictly read it with the audiobook and the physical book because I couldn't understand what was happening. So I'm going back and starting from the beginning. But yes, I started it and I was loving it. I just need a little bit more clarification.
Because I can just grab from there and read it right with you.
Perfect.
I am reading The Cruel Prince. I started about half an hour ago, so I'm on chapter 3, which is like 16 pages in. Never read any of this before, so starting a new series, which is scary.
I've never read any of Holly Black either, so I'm curious to what you think. Hey guys, my name's Steph from Coffee Over Apples. I also read books and I do a lot of manga and drawing, book reviews and things like that. So come and say hi.
And beautiful bookmarks and everything.
Yes, there's some coming next week.
What are you reading?
I'm actually also bouncing. So this is the pick for my sci-fi book club. So we're reading independent publishing this month, so The Dark That Dwells, and then I also have a bunch of manga to read. So I'm gonna flip.
It's so fun to see two books that are on my TBR for this month. So I am also not 100% sure what I want to read. I just finished a book earlier today, and I'm in that weird space where I don't really know what I feel like picking up. But then again, also my first sentence kind of game determines the reading order. So the book that I would have to read next is The Dark That Dwells. So I could read that right along with you, Steph. And also, I am still not finished with the book that Kaylani and I were reading together for Free Book Friday, The Lady of the Devices. For some reason, I can't really get into it, and I have to force myself to get over that. I don't know. Did you end up finishing it, or are you pushing it off as well?
I finished it this morning. I just sat down and listened to the rest of the audiobook. It was a rough one. I will definitely agree there, but it also ended really strangely. I don't think the pacing wasn't right. I don't know. I'm curious to see how you feel when you get to the end. If you get to the end, don't put yourself in a slump with it. But it was interesting.
No, I do want to push myself for the ones that I agree to do for the Free Book Friday, because honestly, even if they go really bad, they make for a hilarious discussion. Especially if you have two very differing opinions about the book, that makes for a really good discussion as well. So I kind of want to push myself for those that I agree for the series. Otherwise, I won't push myself. But yeah, so I'm between those two. Maybe I'll start with Lady of the Devices because that was scheduled to be already done. But if I'm not getting into it, I'm just going to move over to The Dark That Dwells. I have a feeling it seems to be quite good, right?
I'm on the fence right now.
Okay.
I'm on the fence. I don't know. It's kind of like I've read it twice at this point. Just because like I was, when there's like purposefully information that's withheld, and then you're going through, you're just kind of going with it, like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going with it, and then you get the information and you go, oh, that makes sense. Now let me go back and reread now that I know what's going on, and then it makes more sense the second time, and it's kind of that's been the pace. So it takes a little getting used to, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but you sounded like you were having fun reading it so far. So
yeah, there's a lot of action, so the action is fun. But then when it gets to the political parts, that's where I get a little confused because there's, like I said, there's some information, like not everything is fully laid out. So, but I'm almost done. I'll let you know.
Connor, have you read any Fae stories before?
Not many. I read Akatar recently. That's and Crescent City. That's it.
Oh, I love Crescent City.
That is all I've read. I love Crescent City. I don't really read fantasy. It was my goal this year to get into fantasy because I don't really like it.
I did read the Folk of the Air trilogy and I liked it, but I think that Sarah J. Maas is the queen of fairies, so I can't.
Well, I'm very excited because I don't really do fantasy much. So now that I'm slowly getting into it more, I've realised I like more urban fantasy than fantasy. So I've kind of found where I like right now. So I'm just adjusting to that bit first. But so far, it's been really good.
What I just wanted to kind of suggest is like fantasy is such a broad spectrum. Like for example, I did enjoy The Cruel Prince, but I'm not necessarily the fae kind of storyline or the fairy kind of storyline. I'm also not necessarily the smutty romance kind of storyline, which is so ACOTAR is kind of probably not for me, just because those two are not my thing. But then there's so much other stuff on the spectrum of fantasy, as you said, urban fantasy, paranormal fantasy, and I'm more in the grim dark fantasy. That's where I live much more, where shit gets real and rough, and we have morally gray characters and people that make questionable choices. So kind of, I think the popular thing that people know from this like subgenre would be Game of Thrones. So that's where I live more than like fairies. Although Fae, I don't know about ACOTAR, but Fae are usually not nice fairies.
Not usually, but I feel like ACOTAR is a series that kind of treads that line pretty carefully. I just binged the rest of the ACOTAR series aside from A Court of Silver Flames, and it put me in a huge book hangover. So I was really struggling to get back into reading after reading those because Sarah J. Maas knows how to do it right. I just bought my third copy of Crescent City. My third copy. Like I need 3, but
Wow. Wow.
So I've never read Sarah J. Maas and have yet to read ACOTAR. So how much am I missing out?
Depends on what your taste is.
If you like fantasy romance, so go in knowing that because all of her books are like that. If you like fantasy romance, if you don't want to do fairy, you can do Throne of Glass. But I personally think that ACOTAR and Crescent City are her better works. Throne of Glass gets better as you go on, but you have to work through those ones. Whereas ACOTAR, it's a good book on its own until you read the second and third book, and you're like, well, damn, I don't even want to read that one anymore. But I definitely think that there's some stuff there. I love them. Most of my friends that have read it loved it, but I think it just has to go like off of what you're going to enjoy instead of trying to read what's popular.
Yeah.
You know what? Then I will say, because I started listening to The Wise by Taryn Fisher yesterday, and piggybacking off what Cece said, I enjoy a smutty romance, but I don't like toxic smutty romance. It has to be like a healthy relationship. Otherwise, it's a no-go. So
Yeah.
I don't know where Avatar falls in that. Is it like in the gray area?
I wouldn't say that it's toxic. The story evolves as you go on, and I don't want to spoil anything because the second book really is where it's at. The second book is great. The third book is good. The second book is where it's at, and that's where a lot of the dynamics change. And so my thing is, I liked the first book, but then once you read the second book, it doesn't compare. So, but I don't think it's toxic. I think that there's a level of growth there that you learn as you read it. Which I don't want to spoil it.
It's vague enough that I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Every time somebody talks about it, I'm like, I have to push myself to read the second one because I read the first one and was like, meh, because romance, fairy, love, it just doesn't like grab me. But then everybody's like, you have to read the second one because it's so good. I'm like, do I? But then people are talking about it, and I'm like, I have to make up my own mind, maybe, and then I know if the rest is for me.
But I don't think that if you didn't like the first book, which doesn't have as much romance as the second and third, you're not going to like the second and third book. Even though the second and third book have more plot and have more war-based, political-based situations, it's still mainly romance-based, and if that's not your thing, you're not going to enjoy it.
That's a very good advice. I didn't dislike it, but it was also like, meh, there's better stuff out there. So maybe not for me. Let's see what everybody else is reading. Seeing some familiar faces. Going to read Shadow and Bone. Still just in time for the TV show. I mean, I feel like lately people like it felt like 70-80% of people viewing these live shows were reading something in the Grishaverse. I'll be going between the Court of Silver Flames and Beautiful Liar by Lauren Rowe. Cool. Have you guys read Beautiful Liar? No. So, Purple Rain Hearts, you have to tell us about it. Hi Anna, good to see you. Hi Vanessa, just started Black Enough. Anyone read this? I have not. I had an ARC and I gifted it to a teacher who was teaching a majorly like Black kids, kind of trying to get them to read. Because I didn't read it because I'm not into short stories, and I usually can't get into short stories, and I felt like the arc should go to somebody who can appreciate it more than I can.
I own it. I just haven't gotten around to it just yet, but it sounds good.
I just finished Illuminae, which was really good. Yeah. Did you read it with your eyes, listen to it, or did you do both? Because with Illuminae, that's always the question. Have you all read Luminaire?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Really good.
Really good, yeah.
Really good.
And the audiobook, oh my gosh, fantastic.
Yeah. It was Psycho AI. I mean, if you are interested in Psycho AI, I mean, not maybe as Psycho, but I do prefer the Murderbot Diaries.
Oh, that's on my shelf. I need to get to that this year.
Oh, good. So
the first
fun.
Book was crazy.
Yeah, it's. I think you're gonna love it, Steph, because it has the lighthearted, the kind of the way of telling that kind of reminds me a little bit of the Wayfarer series, but then it has the hard-hitting topics and the very serious undertones, and everything that's happening is so serious, but the way that it's experienced by this AI makes it into this wonderful, even like comical thing. I don't know how to describe it differently, but you're gonna love it, I feel like.
You're speaking to my heart. Don't say anything else.
And they're pretty quick to read as well. They're really short, so it's like sit in an afternoon, 3 hours, one done. Aiden was really well, yeah. That's true. A lot of things in Illuminae were written very well. Just that book is a piece of art, I feel like, because of the mediums and how it's used. I love fantasy. That is what I mostly read. So, what type of fantasy? I found Throne of Glass really slow, but I'm going to try it again. I get that. I mean, I feel like compared to other like adult epic series, it doesn't feel slow, but compared to like YA trilogies, yes, it's slow. I have Crescent City on my bookshelf. I'll get to it eventually. That's how I feel about roughly 400 books.
Same.
Do you have to read her books in order?
Yes.
I'm assuming yes. So because that's after Crescent City, and we were talking Sarah J. Maas.
If you want to read them in order of publication, then yes, because Throne of Glass was written first, and I think that's why most people think it's slow, because Sarah J. Maas was just getting into her groove. So she wrote the series very slow, but from what I heard, as it goes on, the series gets more intense and more adult as you move on throughout the series. I haven't read the whole thing, but if you just want to read the best of Sarah J. Maas, and you're not intimidated by the size of her books, I would go into ACOTAR and then do Crescent City. I would always recommend Crescent City first, but people tend to be scared of the adult books because there's a ton of world building. The first 200 pages are very slow, and so it's a tough read to get into. But for me, it was worth it. And every person that I've heard finish it said it was worth it once you get to the end. But it's a tough one to get into. So I guess you would have to do it based off what you think is best. But if you do want to read it in order, then I would go Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, then Crescent City.
But also the series are not necessarily related, so you can absolutely read whatever you want. And if you are an avid fantasy reader and you're used to adult fantasy, I have a feeling you will have a much easier time with getting into Crescent City, because a lot of adult fantasy is this like, well, sit down, let's talk about what the world is like for 1,000 pages before anything happens.
Yep, exactly.
I've read the ACOTAR series, and I'm currently reading Court of Silver Flames, and I haven't read the Throne of Glass series. See, I'm the other way around. I've read the whole Throne of Glass series, but haven't read ACOTAR. I'm going to try finish Red Sister to be ready for the 2nd in May. Yes, we buddy read Red Sister, and then I ran away. Well, we buddy read it in March, so you're late. It's not me who ran away. But we're going to read the 2nd one in May together. I love Red Sister. Have you guys read Red Sister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's much more of the more real grimdark fantasy.
I've heard it's comparable to Nevernight, which makes me really excited because I like the first 2 books at least.
Yeah, I do see that. I see there's a lot of parallels. I personally love a fantasy school setting. Not everybody loves that, but I love a fantasy school setting. And in this one, similarly to Nevernight, you are following somebody who's learning to pretty much be an assassin in a school setting. And there's a lot of parallels. I do think that I like Red Sister better, but I'm not sure if I can tell you why without going into spoilers. That's why I have started talking really slow, because I was thinking about how can I talk about it without going into spoilers. But Nevernight had its things that I really enjoyed, and I think there were some unique things in the writing style. But overall, I personally prefer Red Sister, I think. Listening while I'm purging stuff around the house, I was like, what am I reading there? I did not read Purge right. But that's good. Get stuff done in the house. I want to read Red Sister. Why is this so hard for me to say? Maybe I should just read instead of trying to read out loud. Started Serpent and Dove today after finishing the amazing Ninth House. Have you guys read either?
I haven't read that either. I'm really picky about school settings. I'm really picky. I'm still kind of figuring out like where in that is my gray line or my dividing line of like what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
So
Have you guys read Serpent and Dove? Nope.
nope.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I do feel like a lot of people loved it. But the romance was just off for me. I wasn't feeling the relationship. It wasn't a bad book, I think. It was just not for me. All right.
That's a pretty popular one on BookTube.
Sorry, what?
I said no, that's a pretty popular one on BookTube, but
Mm-hmm.
heard of those.
It is. I don't know. I don't necessarily remember why I was so put off, but there was just something where I was like, yeah. And yes, we did buddy read this, and I didn't like it at all, and it's so popular. It felt forced. Yeah, I don't remember what I didn't like about it in detail, but I remember not enjoying it. I remember that I did not feel the relationship at all. It just felt wrong, not for like being toxic, but it felt like there was no chemistry. But there was something else, and I don't remember. Anyways, maybe we should just start reading. I'm setting up the timer. You guys okay with 30 minutes? 30 minutes have been in the past. It seems to be the popular choice. It seems to be 30 minutes.
Works.
Yeah.
I've got cookies and tea. I'm ready. Let's go.
That sounds perfect. All right. Okay. So the timer's up. So let's start the timer. See you in 30. Enjoy reading. And that is time. Welcome back, everyone. How did everyone do?
Not too bad. I got 41 pages in, 42 pages in.
Nice.
That's great progress.
I did 13 pages.
Woo.
Good.
Same. I think I did like 17.
And are you all enjoying what you're reading?
You know.
Are you completely rereading, or are you getting to a part, like, is there a part of the book left that you haven't read before? Like, did you get to a revelation and jump back to the beginning, or did you completely read it and then start over?
You're talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's been a cycle of, like how I said before, there's information that's being dropped later. So like I'll read a couple chapters, get the new information, go back and reread. And then I'll continue on for another like maybe 40 pages, get new information, go back and reread those 40 pages. So it's like as I'm going, I've been like reading the same thing twice.
Oh, that's exhausting.
Yeah. Like I literally started this book March 31st, and it doesn't usually take me this long. So I have this much. I have 100 pages left. So I just reread the same 17 pages twice.
Oh dear.
Ah.
Okay. Good times. That's next on my TBR.
I hope you enjoy it.
I bet I will. I bet I will. I'm not rereading every page, so I'm just gonna get through it.
No, it's only because I'm a host that I feel like I need to know what's going on. Otherwise, I'd just be like,
I get that.
I don't know.
Like, I don't care if I DNF if I don't like it, because I don't host, so I'm good. Connor, are you enjoying Cruel Prince?
Yeah, I am enjoying it. I think this is the first fantasy I've read since I finished the Shadowhunters. But like the Shadowhunters is like my favorite series ever. So I'm on a bit of a hangover from that one now. So picking up another fantasy, I'm just a bit like, yeah, but you're not them. It's I've been distracting myself with like thrillers and things. This is the first fantasy I've come back to, and I'm like, yeah, all right. But I am enjoying it. I am still enjoying it.
It's hard to compete with a big series too, because at least for me, it's not only that I enjoy the single books in a big series. I'm the type of person, I love when I really deeply get to know characters and I start being able to really understand the world and follow along. And then if you're like on the seventh, eighth, ninth book in a series, and like these are your family, like you know them so well. I know them better than my siblings. And then comes along a new book with new characters. How can they compete with people that you know so well?
Yeah.
I feel that way about the Wayfarer series that we just finished reading, The Long Way to Small Angry Planet, and all its consecutive installments. Oh my gosh.
Although it's characters, right?
I'm sorry?
Although there's always new characters, or is that not the same in the last book?
There's always new characters, but one of the core characters is always from the original storyline. We're connected to the original first storyline. Right. So it's like all side stories. Oh.
It feels the same. It just you can feel it's the same universe.
Mm-hmm. It's so warm and comfortable, and I want to stay there forever.
I get that. I still have books to go, so I'm good.
That's how I felt when I read, I just finished the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert.
I want to read that so bad.
And it was just like, first of all, I 100% recommend it. It's like you get to the end of the third book and you're like, why is it over? But also like these characters are just so precious. Like I don't want anything bad to happen to them. It's just so good. So good.
I might have to make sure that pops, like that gets bumped up on my TBR. No. Well, who knows? Maybe I'm currently working on a new on a TBR game, and I am so pumped for like I want every single time the prompt to be that somebody else chooses my my book. And, like, why do I even make like more than one prompt if all the only prompt that I want is pick somebody who's gonna pick for me, and this would be then the way to get to all these amazing books, I think.
That could just be the whole game, like randomly selecting friends and like pulling from their TBRs or something.
Well, I do like that idea, but I feel like no, I feel like I have the right game now. I was working on having a game for 2 years and it never felt right. So that's why I never had a TBR game on my channel. After the last live with Completely Melanie, I was talking about it and she made a suggestion. I'm like, that's it. This is my game. This is childish and quirky enough to be my game and to be like, to just be full of enjoyment that I just find ridiculously hilarious. So this is totally going to be, and I might give you a sneak peek in the next time we're chatting. I'm gonna grab it and give you a sneak peek of what it's gonna be. But then also I think that the best part might be my punishments, because whoever knows me knows that I have a TBR that I cannot complete. That's my whole thing. So I will have punishments. And my punishments are going to be a whole other video. So I think that's going to be, I'm really excited for this.
I have an obsession with TBR games. It's not even funny. Like I'll just go like middle month, just like type in TBR games and just binge watch them all. They're just so much fun.
They are. They are. What's your favorite TBR game?
I think that the one that I look forward to the most is probably either Mel's
Which
wheel.
one? The wheel.
I don't remember the channel, but the spin the bottle, and then of course Bookopoly and Darts and Cody's Book Corner. Like those are the core ones. But Book Roasts is really fun. Like I love her Avatar-thon thingamajig.
Black.
Yes. I haven't
have to watch hers. It's so much.
I think that I have watched them. Which one is your TBR game, Steph?
It's the Blackjack TBR casino game.
Yes. Yes.
Connor, do you have one?
I have a very rare one that I just do and then I get bored, so I forget, and it's shot roulette.
Nice.
And that chooses. But this month, I got my friend to pick my TBR for me, and I reacted to the video live. So I watched it and then give my reactions, and that was the TBR video.
Nice.
So I did that this time, and that's really good. It's worked out very well for me this month.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So.
I love that video too. I was so digging your reactions to like, I mean, this is such a perfect idea actually for somebody to make a video to pick your TBR, and then your reactions are so hilarious. I mean, it was such an enjoyment. It's so entertaining to watch. So if anybody on this seeing this or listening to this or whatever hasn't seen it, totally recommend.
It's the good old British passive aggressive humour.
So you're just abusing me right now, yeah.
That's pretty much. Oh, no, that's how I work.
Amber just joined. Hi, Amber. read a little more than 20 pages of Ruin and Rising. Anna's getting to the end of this. It's so much fun to like having been part of the journey. 24 pages of Beautiful Liar. Willow did 40 pages of Shadow and Bone. That's awesome. Read 32 pages of Undead Girl Gang. How is that? I had that on my TBR once, but it dropped off. Didn't get to it, so. Kaylani, your shirt is making me happy.
Oh, thanks. I love a good stitch.
I love your shirt so much.
Thank you.
For 24 pages of The Ninth Girl by Tammy Ho. Do you guys know that? That doesn't.
She's a mystery author.
Okay. Just finished dinner. What are you guys reading? Do we just
Gonna hold it up.
Yeah, I can't. I'm always bad with ebook. I'm reading Lady of the Devices.
How far did you get into it?
I'm almost half now. I think that I just realized what bothered me. You know, when you have this like, first of all, it's like a Victorian-esque setting with the language. That alone is something that I usually find hard to get into. But then you have this overly feminist character who's like, I want to wear pants and I don't want to get married. And I do love a good, strong feminist character, but most of them feel like they're written with somebody who has today's thoughts and has today's point of view, and they don't really transport themselves and their point of view into writing a rebellious character from the Victorian age point of view, but it just feels disconnected, and you just have this, I'm going to write a feminist character because women in Victorian ages were suppressed because they had to marry to be worth anything, which has its value, but it just feels disconnected.
I get that.
I know what you mean, Connor. I want to read the Dark Art Phases, but I want to reread the Mortal Instruments first. Been years since I read them. I finished the Infernal Devices last year. Amber, I'm reading The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet now. Yay! How are you liking it, Amber? I hope you enjoyed as much as Steph and I did. Bookish Adventure, I just joined. I'm currently reading The Cruel Prince.
Twins! Woo!
I'm 64% through the audiobook, so I'm going to finish it. Nice. I have a TBR game on my channel. I started doing it from March, and it is so much fun. What do you do? Share some details. What do you do? Kaylani already checking you out.
I am. I'm going right now. I'm like, I need it. Oh, the good TBR
I know what I'll be doing during the next sprint. Watch more TBR games. You can never go wrong. So what is everybody else's favorite TBR game? The two of you and everybody in the chat.
Well, admittedly, I watch Kaylani's religiously. So, I mean, I watch CC, I watch yours. I mean, I try to watch almost like everyone that I'm subscribed to is basically like the last and first week of the month is just going through TBR games because you never get tired of them.
I just watch every TBR game possible. Yeah. I love them. It's so fun.
I recently found somebody that does cup pong to choose their TBR, or like beer pong, and I just have a blast like watching her struggle because she does like a rule like every time she misses 3 in a row she has to add another one to her TBR. So she's like over here like, damn it. She knows it's so fun.
So what is your favorite thing about watching a TBR game? What is it that you like about it?
The unexpectedness. So one of this one booktuber, her name is Sasha from the Redhead Reader. She does this one game where she uses a number generator to choose off of her Goodreads TBR list. But there's like certain numbers that if that number comes out, then she has to double up. And so sometimes she'll end up with like a 20-something book long list. Just like, I'm here for chaos. I love it.
Yes, exactly. I love it when the TBR games wake up and choose violence, you know?
Yeah.
That's the best.
It feels like a game show. Like you sat there like, oh, come on, what's it gonna be? It's great. It's just a great feeling. And you always want them to do bad. You never want anyone to have a good TBR. You always want it to be really bad.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that game show feeling most with your blackjack version because I have, because you have two competing, you have
Oh yeah.
prompts competing, and you're like, which one does she have to like? What does she have to do? And can she get the prompt that she wants or not? And I had that game show feeling with yours, yes.
Well, usually my husband is the dealer, so it's like I'm actually playing against him. But when I lose, because I always have candy as my casino chips, so he'll eat the candy, and so I can't like, I have to win or run out of chips. Great.
I also think it's interesting because one of my really good friends, Caitlin, she does Litland, which is based on Candyland, and hers I'm always rooting for her to win because once she gets to the end of her Candyland game, then she gets to buy books.
Nice.
And so I'm like, I want you to win, but also like the chaos, but I want you to win.
So what do you think about the punishments? Because you said Connor, you never want them to have a good TBR. Why is that? Do you want to see the reaction of them being frustrated, or actually because
I want them to enjoy all of the reads. I don't want any of the books they have to be bad. I just want them to be stressed out to the max in the game because it's hilarious. when they pick out a card that says they have to add 3 more books, I'm like, like that I love. But I don't want them to have bad books or anything like that. I want them to all be like 5 stars. But I love the chaos and the drama because there's nothing better than seeing someone just start going, I'm so excited to do this. And then by the end, they're like, yeah, bye, I'm done. That's just it's a great feeling.
That's the when you had to pick a 1-star off of most. That's the exact feeling that I got.
Oh my goodness. My punishment. So I have a punishment jar where like if I lose my round of blackjack of the card game, I have to pull a punishment. And one of my punishments this month was to read a 1-star from a friend's read list. And I mean, yes, it's adding more books to the TBR, but it's also giving great content for rant reviews. So it's like win-win.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to set mine up. I actually like I have the game here and I got cards printed because I was like they need to look good. Like they need to look good. And I'm so excited for this. I hope that I struggle enough for you, Connor.
Well, ironically, as much as I say I love seeing the struggle of people, I also really don't like punishments because you see people, and someone's just mentioned Gavin's TBR game, and I think about his a lot. Like, if he loses, he has to read a book he doesn't want to read, and I just sit there like, why are you wasting your time? Why are you doing that? You know you're not going to like it. So I don't like punishments, but I love watching them. Like, I would love to just watch all the punishments, watch the game, and then have them say at the end, I'm not actually going to do that because I don't want to read them. Like, I want the best of both worlds, but it don't work.
I think you might enjoy my punishments. Because my punishment is not about reading things that I don't like. My punishment is like interacting with human beings.
That'll be fun.
So, for example, one of my punishments, so pretty much what I do is I sort my books into genres, and each genre has a different color. And if I don't complete the color section, I'm going to have to do that punishment. And for one color, for example, I have to go out and find somebody who needs help with anything and help them. And just do whatever they need. If it's cleaning their toilet or if it's washing their car or if it's getting groceries, no matter what, I have to find somebody that I can help with anything that they need. So I'm going to have this type of punishment, and I think it's going to be hilarious.
Oh, I like that.
Great.
Yeah.
You can totally vlog it if you do that.
Yeah. It's going to be, it's going to be fun.
I've never done punishments when I do my TBRs, but I played a game. It was probably around October or November now, where I played Never Have I Ever, but like the book edition.
Recently.
And if I'd done the things, I had to eat chili gummy bears.
That sounds
It was horrible. It was the worst experience of my life. But everyone that commented on that video was like, this has been the best, because I think it was like an hour-long video. Everyone that commented saying, this has been the best hour of my life. I haven't stopped crying. It's the best thing in the world. And I'm just like, I hate you all. You think, oh, they're gummy bears. They're going to be lovely. You bite into that, you scream. It is hot.
And now I feel like I have to try one. Like, where did you?
Oh, you do. I found them online. I regret it. If you ever need a laugh with some punishments, feel free to watch that video, because it is I cried. It was a horrible day. I'm traumatized. But even now, when I do videos and I say, what content do you guys want? The number one comment is always, just something with those gummy bears again, please. Anything with those gummy bears. And I'm just like, I casually glance over them like, no, I didn't see that, sorry.
Humanity. We love seeing other people be in pain and agony, struggling.
I did the same video recently, but using the mystery flavor jelly beans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, the idea was, okay, I'm gonna at least get a couple, like maybe Tutti Frutti or something. No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Great.
I love it.
Now I'm pumped for some more TBR games. And Amber's loving the Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. Yeah. Buddy reading it with Sam over at Sarcasm and Sci-Fi. I mean, honestly, that channel alone probably could be something where I live. My TBR is like Disney, but like also classic. What does that mean? It's like Disney, but like also classic.
Classic Disney?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to watch it to find out.
I know.
Gav's
TBR game is super stressful. Like, I have anxiety when I watch his game. Like, I played that game, but drinking, and so like books, no, it gives me anxiety. No.
My TBR for this month is definitely bad, and I didn't even use a TBR game for it. Apparently, I just enjoy setting myself up for failure. I'm so sorry, Amber. But wait, you just said that you're just reading The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet and you're loving it. So it isn't all bad. So that book alone will make up for it. So Alien Books says, I like when other people get the punishments, but when I get the punishments, it's not as fun.
Exactly.
Well, that's the whole idea of it, I guess. Reading with Toby has beautiful cards for her TBR game.
Her cards are stunning. She does it at like a zodiac sign.
I know. Yes, they are. They are. There's a couple of people who have really, really stunning, beautiful, and you're like, oh my gosh, why are all these people so freaking talented in creating this, like, professionally amazing looking? That might also be a reason why I haven't done a proper TBR game in years, because I was afraid of it all looking so good. I mean, I do my first sentence. Nothing needs to look good for my first sentence one. I think that's my favorite video of yours, Connor.
Yeah.
You know, the people in pain. Yeah.
Yeah, fan favorite.
I know what I'm watching after this.
In my April TBR, I got the bad luck test so many times when I was rolling, and it was chaos. That sounds good.
The videos aren't fun if you don't have a little bit of chaos. Just a little.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. That's what it's all about. I feel like my punishment video is probably going to be more chaos than this. Um, I'm actually doing something completely different right now, and I'm wondering if I should bring it on my YouTube channel. But then I'm also spending a lot of money on it, and I'm like, why shouldn't I? Um, I have been taking some pictures with a photographer a couple of weeks ago, and I actually did not like how he edited it. I was like, his editing skills just need a little bit more practice. So I just went on Fiverr and I booked 15 different people to edit to like pick random from my photos and edit it. And I think five or six of them advertise it as fantasy edit, so they don't just color correct. They like they do like a whole other thing. And I got the first one back today, and like, oh my god, I'm radioactive. Like I'm glowing, like my hair is glowing blue, and
What? Is this for you, or is this for like a thumbnail, or like?
well, it was just for me, for Instagram or something. I don't know what it was for, but I felt like I just wanted to see where other people's creative mind would take them, and what people would make of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took it. They took it, and they were gone. Let me see if I can show it to you. I need to find the original picture so you have a so you have comparison. I should be able to share my screen and show this to you. A little
So I
sneak.
just looked up Connor's video and the thumbnail. I am dying. The thumbnail.
Oh no. Oh, I'm gonna have to find it. Let me find the thumbnail now.
I had to go like save it to my watch later because I'm definitely watching that later. The thumbnail is great.
Uh,
I'm not sure. Oh, that's amazing.
oh, so fun.
That is amazing. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I'll show you the pictures after the next one. I need to find out how to do this, but I think it went above and beyond my expectations. So I'll try it for the next sprint. After the next sprint. Let's see the last three comments, and then let's go into a sprint, and then I'll show you the pictures because I feel like yelled at. Um, I'll show it to you after. I'll figure out how to do it. I just put a Milton book on my TBR, and I have no justification for it. That's fine. My video is a lot of me talking about how I'm. That is fine too. I can relate. Anybody else? When I said it was Disney, it's Disney themed, but when I mean classic, it's like a roll the dice game. Ah, don't worry, it's so chaotic. That sounds good. I'll definitely have to go and watch that. Ah, don't worry. All right, are you guys ready for the next sprint?
Go.
All righty, so let's go in and happy reading, everyone. that is time. Welcome back, everyone. How did you guys do?
Yeah, I did okay. I've got up to page 47. My plan for tonight is to get to about 50, so nearly
okay.
there.
I made it to page 84.
Good, good, good. Steph, you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. I think I did about 15 pages.
Once or twice.
Definitely twice. I don't know if you can see the amount of tabs that I have here, but it's like a lot. It's a lot of tabbing.
When you're host of a book club, that's what you do, right?
Yes, and I enjoy annotating so much, but a lot of it is questions. It's mostly notes to myself to be like, okay, this is this and this is this. I think we're good.
Right. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get into the rhythm of Lady of the Devices. I'm not sure, but I feel like the language has eased up on being so Victorian sounding, and then then you can just go through it really quickly. But when there's like a lot of words that I have like no idea what they mean because I never come across them in my everyday life, then I'm like, what am I even reading here? All right, so let me show you the photo that I was talking about. So I have literally the only way of showing is just to share my full screen. So everything that one seems to see. Let me take that off. And you should see a photo now. Do you see the image?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay, so this is the original. It looks a little bit dark, but that's because it is the original in the original file from the camera, and Windows can't read it properly, so it has like the gazillion of layers. And this is what the person picked to give a fantasy retouch, and this is what we got.
Oh.
Wow.
So yeah, see what I mean? What I mean by radioactive. I have no idea what these things are flying around my head, but I think if you cut it like this, it gets really interesting. I think I like this bit. I'm not sure about the radioactive legs. Yeah, so that was the photo.
Nice.
Yeah, so I am thinking of making this a whole video for my channel, even though it's not necessarily book related, but I do think it's entertaining to see what people do with the photos.
It could be like turning us like a video of turning yourself into like a YA fantasy cover or something like that.
I think that could be maybe the next challenge. The meeting, the appointment that I had this morning when I missed the live show was a photo shoot as well. And let's see, maybe I'll have another photo shoot where I take one picture and I give it to like 5 different people and tell them to make it a YA or a fantasy cover or something. Vanessa says my 2 favorites are Cody's Book Corner and Becca's Bookopoly, and she thinks that they should switch games for a month. I love that idea.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Anna's here. Hi, Anna. 22 pages of Beautiful Liar. 40 pages of reread of 7. People making progress. I'm loving it. I don't know how much I read, but I got to page 140 out of 197. So I'm hopeful I can finish this book today. What are you reading, Anna? What you're reading and how long will you be live? I have no idea how long we will be live. Usually I'm on for a couple of hours. I'm a little bit tired today, and I think Connor has to call it a night at some point soonish.
Yeah, I was thinking I'll head off when you start the next one because I still need to get ready for work.
I also have to go around at 2, so right around now.
Right. What about you, Steph?
I can stay for like one more sprint if you want, or
That sounds good because I do have an early morning as well for some like miraculous reason that happens once in a lifetime. So
we can call it early if you want.
no, one more sprint sounds really good because that puts me right in that area where I'm like, I would be tempted to read more, but maybe I shouldn't. So what are we reading? I'm reading Lady of the Devices. I have an ebook and I can't be bothered to find the cover every time we're holding it up. And I promised you a sneak peek of my TBR game. Let me see. Can you hear that? That is absolutely part of it. Can you hear the water?
Yeah.
Oh, are you fishing? Oh, cute.
Oh, that's so cool.
And yes, this game is the best. It has like full-on songs. It looks the best. And yeah, these are the cards.
Oh, cute.
Oh, cute. I like. Where did you get those done? I've been needing to get cards done, but I don't know where to get them done.
Well, I pretty much designed them in the same tool that I do my thumbnails in to kind of fit the same theme as my thumbnails. And I just there's a quite cheap print shop here that prints. So when you look for like business cards, shops that print business cards, they often have like flyers and everything. And this is just postcard size. And they had the amazing way of like having rounded corners, which was like everything. It just makes it look not like a business card or a postcard. It makes it look like a game card.
Those are really cute.
So yeah, I'm so excited for this. Got to page 172 from 157.
Nice.
Wait, what?
She started on 157
Oh,
and
yeah.
on 172.
Okay. I was like, you did more than the book had pages. That can be true. Oh, you're reading the Scarlet Letter. I think didn't you read that last time, or you mentioned you were going to read it? I need to stop asking you. I always forget you're the one that kind of goes with the flow. You do? Oh yeah, about how long? Yes, about how long we're on. Yes, but usually we are on a lot longer. Not saying that every time is a 9-hour thing. That's just once in a blue moon. But yeah, I thought there was an ice cream truck. Oh, I would love an ice cream truck right now.
Me too. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Although where I grew up, such a thing did not exist. We did not have something like that.
No ice cream trucks?
You have been gypped.
Not a thing. Is that a thing in the UK, Connor?
Yeah, it's a very big thing.
Yeah. Where do you live? That is not a thing.
It's a British staple, Mr. Whippy.
No, we have like ice cream shops, and they're everywhere, but not trucks. No. Love from Brazil. Hi. I mentioned I was going to read it last time and barely had time to read it this week, so I'm just reading and cleaning today. That sounds perfect. Well, got a pack for my new house. Stop in and chat for a minute, but I'm leaving now. Bye, bye, Autumn. Have fun moving house. From packing for my new house. I'm assuming you're moving house. So that's like the least stressful time in life. So have fun with that one. I hope you enjoy. I actually do love moving to like a new house. Just hate leaving an old house and having to
Ice cream trucks are
not a thing in Spain either.
What is wrong with the rest of Europe?
We didn't have a need for it because we could just go to the next ice cream shop.
Or you could just sit in your house and a car would drive by handing you ice cream. I know which one I prefer.
Are there that many ice cream shops that you can just go to one? Because I feel like ice cream shops are not a big thing here.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
every
but-
village, pretty much what it feels like.
We don't have ice cream shops. Well, not in the north of England anyway.
And Steph, where are you from?
Oh, I live in New Jersey, right outside New York City.
Okay. And Cece, what about yourself?
I live in Germany, close to the Dutch border. And yeah, like the smallest village might not have one, but I feel like unless you live on a farm all alone, there is probably one in a walkable distance with good quality ice cream. And as a kid, especially, we loved being allowed to go there because it was even more like, oh, yes, we're allowed to go there. And we had when I was a little kid, we had this little shop at on the corner. Like every like neighborhood had this little shop where you could get like the most like the just some like bare necessities for like everyday life, some groceries and that kind of thing. And they always also had this little like candy corner. So there was like every day there was a thing of like, can I get a couple of cents? Can I get a couple of whatever the currency was back then to get a few pieces of candy? And then you were so proud that you were allowed to walk into the shop all by yourself and pick it out and pay for yourself. And that was part of the experience. And that's for ice cream as well. Like I wouldn't want to have missed that part. Just ice cream shops.
I mean, we have ice cream shops, but I also find like I feel like maybe ice cream trucks were more popular like in the 2000s and the 90s, but I don't see them as often like now. Like every time I see them, I'm like, whoa, it's a unicorn ice cream truck.
It's like you hear the jingle, and then there's this mass exodus of children like ice cream. Just go.
One super interesting thing that I just recently learned is that I did not know that the ice cream that you have in the US, like Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, or whatever they are not the same as the ice cream that we have in shops here. That it's actually like in the US, you have ice cream and you call what we have gelato. And we call gelato ice cream, and we call Ben & Jerry's and stuff American ice cream. I didn't know there was two different things.
Yeah, it's different.
Definitely different.
In the UK, we don't have gelato. We just have ice cream.
Okay, well.
Yeah, but I think you have European ice cream. You don't have the American ice cream. We say ice cream. Well, we don't say gelato.
Well, is it hard or soft serve ice cream?
Now we're thinking a little bit too hard into this.
I don't know. It's just, to be honest, it depends how long it's been in the freezer for, whether it's melted. That's how I determine whether it's soft scoop or not. How long has it been in the freezer?
Honestly, I think it's the same as in the rest of Europe. That you, it's just ice cream, and the American ice cream is the one that you don't know.
Steph, would you consider gelato soft serve?
I would say it's closer to soft serve. It's probably like in the middle.
Yeah, because I have gelato and regular ice cream right now in my freezer, and I find that gelato is just like a little bit more like velvety.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really. I don't know if I don't consider it soft serve. Soft serve, when I think soft serve, I think McDonald's. Like
Yeah. Soft serve is like really almost like if ice cream were really light, like whipped cream, but not that light. But it's lighter than gelato.
Like frozen yogurt.
And yeah.
That in England is what we call Mr. Whippy. The McDonald's one.
Yeah.
That's the one we get from ice cream trucks.
Okay.
That's the type of ice cream we get from the trucks.
So that's called soft ice, but that's not gelato. Gelato is pretty much what what you get in like the supermarket as well, in the tubs and etc. But the difference is when as far as I understand it, is that you get a tub of gelato and you can pretty much scoop it because it's velvety.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ben & Jerry's, you have to start and let it sit and get to temperature a little bit because it's too hard to scoop it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I am used to the one in the ice cream shops that you can just scoop right away, and that doesn't have to start melting before you can scoop it. As I said, I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know there was a difference, but apparently there is. And I have been growing up with gelato shops everywhere.
I love hard ice cream, but I don't wait for it to get to room temperature. What I do is I stick a spoon into hot water, and then that'll cut through it easier, and you can just scoop it that way.
Oh, all of the, you can't be waiting. When you want ice cream, you want ice cream. You find a way to get it out of the tub. Or just eat it from the tub,
Yeah.
Whatever.
We don't have ice cream trucks. We have ice cream bicycle.
Ooh, that's cool.
Quite coming in from left field with bicycles. I just bought a house. I'm only 23 and a single mom. And you bought a house?
Good for you.
Freaking congratulations.
That's freaking
Time
awesome.
to get out of this tin can, a trailer. Honestly, you're 23, a single mom, and you bought a house. I feel like you won life. Like you won. This is amazing. Congratulations. So proud of you.
I said go ahead.
Those shops are the same in Spain, CC, with a candy corner. Yes. They kept dying out though. I think it's like a thing of the 90s.
Can you close the door though?
Was definitely a thing in the 90s. I remember riding my chasing down the ice.
Yep.
Gelato,
the same.
Are not the same. Yeah, soft serve is I think what I know as soft ice. Gelato from the grocery store is not real gelato. That's true. That is true. In addition to ice cream, we also have frozen custard. I've heard it's not as popular in the States outside of Wisconsin, but it's creamier than ice cream.
Ooh.
Now I want
Good.
a round of tasting, please. Can we just get one each, just so we need to confirm?
Or even like frozen yogurt. Frozen yogurt and like soft serve ice cream also aren't the same, but like equally as good.
Yep. And then there's sherbet, which is not the same.
Girl, what McDonald's do you go to? The ice cream machine.
That is so spot on.
So cute.
We have frozen custard in Maryland.
Oh, good to know.
I think I've never heard of this. But then again, to be honest, I think I was 28, 29 something when I heard that frozen yogurt is a thing. I never knew that it exists before I was that old. So
this makes me want to go buy different snacks from different countries and try the different things that you never knew existed.
We actually have a subscription box that does that. And I did a few unboxings of them, and then I had people commenting, "This is not what represents my country." But I'm happy to send you all a German snack box. So that's if you want, you can get a German snack box and then do a booktuber is tasting German snacks for the first time, can do it on a live. Everybody has the same snacks.
That would be
love
so
it.
great.
Fun.
I'm serious. I'm happy to do that. Oh, sorry. I love how I said I was leaving and didn't. Oh, well. Well, we know that. Learned something new today. Yeah.
Snowballs. That's a different thing too.
Snowballs.
That's like if I'm remembering correctly, it's like literally shaved ice, and then you put the syrup on top.
Oh, an elote.
Kind of like that.
Is it like ice from water or ice from like a creamy, ice creamy?
No, I think
Ice from
it's ice from water.
okay, because
We call them slushies in England.
Slushies.
Yeah. It's
Shave
like
ice.
a slushy that looks in the shape of an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, yeah.
when you do the shavings from like something that's more like creamy ice cream, you get the Korean version, and that is so freaking good.
Like rolled ice cream.
No, not rolled, like shaved.
What?
I just forgot what
Basically, what you're telling me is I need to travel.
Yeah, that is correct. That's what I'm saying. What is it called? Bingsu.
Ah, bingsu. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
We have so many really, really good and authentic Korean and Japanese restaurants around here because we have a really large population in Düsseldorf, and it's so amazing to have all this like readily available. Congrats, Autumn. That's called snow cones here.
Mhm.
I heard that. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, if you want to make the snack box a thing, let me know. I'll hit you up, and then we'll schedule a live again where you can all unpack it together. Aside from that, I would say let's get into another sprint, and I do know that this would mean that I think Connor and Kelani, you'll be leaving. I don't really want to like let you go, but then I also think that we should be reading. So I'm torn.
It's fine. I do need to go because it's getting on to nearly 10:30, and I still need to like have a shower and get lunch ready and everything for work in the mornings. I'm up at 5, so I need my sleep.
I love how you can hear the excitement in your voice. Like
I know. I pride myself on loving what I do. Oh.
It's a good day at work.
If I could start at 12, I'd be so much happier. I have to get up at 5.
But you know what? That's goals. Maybe in your life, at one point, I was the same at like 20 something, and now that I'm 30 something, almost turning 40, I am at the point in my life where I can start work whenever I want. So I can start at 12. So that's still goals. That might still happen for you.
Manifest it.
Yes, begin to existence.
Kelani, what's the dog's name? I think.
Oh, her name is Bailey. She looks very crazy right now because we had to spray her with flea stuff, so her hair is like sticking up like a mad woman. But her name is Bailey.
So cute.
But yes, I have to go get ready. My husband's taking me on a date night, so.
Fun.
That's awesome. Enjoy that so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It was a lot of fun with you. There was a nice group of people here. I enjoyed this group.
It's been a lot of fun.
It was nice to meet you guys officially.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Yeah, it was lovely to see you all. I will chat to you all soon, hopefully. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And that's number 2.
Woo. I am determined to finish this book today.
And you will. I mean,
It's gonna happen.
if you just read every page twice, maybe you can do it.
But then I won't understand. I don't.
How many more pages do you have?
Let me see. It ends at 465 and I'm at 389. So that like 90 pages? 95 pages? Yeah.
It's doable, but it's not something that's done in an hour.
Yeah, no.
If you like read it twice.
I know. But it's going. It's going. I just need some. This is the kind of month, you know, where you have that month where you start a million books, but you don't finish any.
Yeah, I'm trying to be better with that, and that usually happens to me when I have a lot of buddy reads and group reads that are that have a deadline and all these things at the same time, and I'm trying to be a little bit better at it to have like one buddy read after the other, and then I kind of enjoy living on the plan that my first sentence prediction is determining the reading order. So the only books that I read out of order are the ones that have a very certain deadline to it. But everything else, takes a little bit of the pressure off in a way of choosing and starting one thing and not having the other finished. The Dark That Dwells is next because I predicted it has the highest rating that I haven't read yet. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of fun and interesting. People can relate to you.
Oh, it's like when your currently reading shelf ends up being like 15 books long.
But do you actually actively read them or do you pause them in favor for another one?
I usually end up pausing in favor for another. There's actually, gonna spill all the tea here. There's like 3 books on my currently reading shelf that have been there since December. Like I'll pick them up a little bit and then put them back because like Game of Thrones is 1,000+ pages or things that are really long but that are not for like live shows, book clubs that don't have a deadline. I'll kind of pick them up in between.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
I feel like it's hard when you spread out a book that much. I feel like you're setting yourself up to not liking the book because you're not in the story, you're not following along as well, and it's like, yes, I want to give you more attention, but then I can't also read just you. And
Yeah, that's
what do you do? It's like, I mean, with the bigger books like the 1,000-page fantasy, what I now tend to do is spread it either across 1 or 2 months and then give me like daily portions. So because when I pause them, I will leave this world and then it feels like I have to start over, or I feel I lose the connection and end up not liking it as much. Yeah, I'm trying to be better at like pausing things in favor for something else and stuff.
Figuring it out as I go.
In the end, if you enjoy what you're doing and what you're reading, it all doesn't matter. And then there are so many books coming out, and I'm excited. I seen Rainbow Rowell is doing another Simon Snow book.
I haven't read those, but I know they're super popular.
I think from how I know you, I think that you might enjoy this humor. I know that it's not for everyone. I liked it. I'm not sure if I like Rainbow Rowell's writing in general, and I know that she has a few books that are considered quite problematic with representation. So I'm a little bit torn about this, but I did enjoy the Simon Snow book. It felt like a sarcastic parody of very typical YA fantasy slash Harry Potter, to be specific, and done in a fun but also in a way that is a little bit serious. So it's not just like I'm over the top, all just joking. It's the middle ground in a way. Yeah, I don't know.
Good to know.
It's a style that I could see you enjoying. I'm in the middle of 2 books and was supposed to start a buddy read yesterday that we didn't do. And I've got another I'm about to start in a few days. I got distracted by Korean dramas. I
Yeah.
feel that. What are you watching?
Yes, please. Korean dramas are so good.
What are you watching, Steph?
The last one that I finished, I haven't started a new one yet, but the last one I finished was It's Okay to Not Be Okay, which I think might still be on Netflix. And then I was also rewatching Coffee Prince, which is an older K-drama with a friend of mine. But I'm open to suggestions because I need a new one.
I just finished watching what is it called? The Mystery Pop-Up Bar? Mystical Pop-Up Bar? Well, what is the name? It's on Netflix.
Oh,
Why have I forgotten what the name is? Mystery Pop-Up Bar? I don't know, something like that.
I'm sure if I go into Netflix, I'll probably see it there.
That's the word. Mystic Pop-Up Bar. That was quite fun, and I'm now watching an old one that I haven't watched yet, Reply 1997.
Popular one.
Yeah, because it's popular, I need to watch it, and I feel like I need to watch more with like young people, school age, because I feel like that is a lot more. They have a lot more language and a lot of vocabulary that I have already learned, versus some fantasy setting or something. So I do feel like I have more situations of oh, I recognize that word. I understood that sentence kind of thing, and that did not happen with like fantasy or like the historical ones. But
Mhm.
Mythical Horror is fun. Have you heard about it at all?
Not heard about it at all.
So pretty much the idea is that you have I just call it a being, and um, she did something in the past that condemns her to now find, I think, 100,000 souls and help them relieve them of their grudge that they're holding. And then when she helps them relieve them of the grudge, when she hits that number, she will be able to move on. Uh,
Mhm.
so she's able to enter their dreams and then look into what's behind the grudges and potentially help them change their lives or whatever. And they are, she has this mystic pop-up bar where people are then coming in, and when they're sharing uh, um, their fears and dreams and hopes and whatever, she can give them this drink that enables her to go into their dreams. And
Ooh.
yeah, she meets this young boy who, like, she's struggling because people aren't opening up to her anymore. And she meets this young boy who, for some reason, has the magic touch of when he like literally touches people, they open up to him, and they like he cannot stop them from telling them like everything. Like they're like, "Oh, listen to me, listen to my story," and he's like, "I can't touch anybody because they keep telling me like all that." Like,
That's such a mood though, because there's always, I don't know if this happens to you a lot, but I know that this happens to a couple of my family members. Like they're just the kind of people where someone meets them and they tell them their everything. And they're like, I don't even know you. Why are you telling me all this? Oh, you just seem like a really nice person. Like, okay. Like that's just a thing. Which is nice sometimes.
yeah,
Nice people that way.
a lot of layers of like the fantasy aspect, the historical aspect of what happened, and then you have like the whole afterworld aspect because we have creatures that have passed on. And I mean, I think she has been doing it for 500 years or something, or she has 500 years time to do this. But anyways, it's quite charming. So you might.
Mhm. I love more like romantic comedies. I love a comedy. Comedy will get me every single time.
Have you ever watched a sci-fi?
Yes, I watched one. I was like kind of sci-fi-ish. It was My Love from Another Star. You seen that one? Basically, I forget. It was so long ago, but I know that the guy was an alien and he got stuck on Earth or something, and then it goes along with that. But it was pretty good.
I've seen some like really like classic sci-fi looking things popping up on Netflix lately. They seem to be quite new as well, and I was like, I think I might. I'm in such a heavy sci-fi mood currently. I also started rewatching Star Trek a while ago in chronological order. I'm on Deep Space Nine right now. And I had, by the way, I had very, very heavy Deep Space Nine vibes when I was reading Close and Common or no, Spaceborne Few.
Margaret over Spaceborne Few.
Yes. And I felt like this is why I seem to be loving the Wayfarer series so much, is because you have very different stories, you have very different settings, but it feels as much as one world as I have with Star Trek. You have very different settings, like this one is a space station and the other is like an exploring ship or whatever. You have different planets, but it still feels like one wholesome universe. And it all feels connected, even though you have different people. So I'm getting this same vibe, and I'm getting the same social criticism in a nice and positive way vibe that I'm getting from Star Trek. And that was the revelation that I had reading Record of a Spaceborne Few, and was like, that's why I love this.
So wholesome.
It out last week and rewatched old favorites. I binged Personal Taste, my first K-drama. Also, you just started getting into K-dramas. Am I reading this correctly? Coffee Prince and Marry Me, Mary.
Coffee Prince is so good.
I'll have to get into this. I think my first K-drama was Shopping King Louis, and I feel like nobody has watched this. It feels like so unknown, but it's so hilarious. It is, I don't know, it's for those who just love over the top, hilarious, absurd kind of.
do. What is it? Shopping King Louis?
Yeah, it's pretty much just read the synopsis. It's not a quality series or something, but it's fun. It's cute and it's fun in a ridiculous way, but it's not really meant ridiculous, I think. It's just cute. Just I think you might enjoy it. Yeah.
Love it. I love your comedy.
I'm almost done with These Violent Delights. I'm listening to the audiobook, but I'm going to read the physical book and make annotations comparing it to Romeo and
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. I wasn't
video
reading it much, but not for I think the book is really good, but it's not my jam kind of deal. The thing that I did appreciate though is that it is a retelling that feels like it's not leaning 100% on the original, but it's actually taking it to another level. It's just being inspired by Romeo and Juliet and saying, okay, I'm going to take it someplace else. And that's what I do appreciate.
Those are, I think, because I recently started doing retellings. I was never a person who read retellings until like I started booktubing, and I think that that's where I'm enjoying it more, where it's not a direct retelling, rather taking inspiration of. So that's good to know because I haven't read.
There's some really good writing in there. I just wasn't feeling the vibe. It felt I'm not into magical realism and I'm not into horror, and I do think that it might be something that you enjoy because you like the and one of the heavy themes in this is having this like monster-esque kind of plague kind of thing, and I wasn't feeling that vibe, and that kind of destroyed the feeling of the book for me, but I can objectively acknowledge that it's a good book. So yeah, I think in my wrap up I actually quoted a bit where I said, see, it's good writing, it's really good, I just didn't like where the story was going. Just getting back into K-dramas after a several year hiatus. I recommend it. I think we already gave you a few, hopefully. And then also everybody else, like everybody's taste in is so different. I feel
Yeah.
like it's the same with somebody's like, oh, I just got back into reading, give me recommendations. Like narrow it down, like give me a framework to work with.
What genre are we working with? Because they're so different.
Yeah. And then also, I'm not the expert. I do not watch enough because I read.
I feel like it's a weird, like, I don't know at what point to say that I watch enough K-dramas because there's just so many. And I feel like I watch my fair share, but still there's so many. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. But there's some really, 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 really good ones.
I am not even close to that. I have only watched a couple because you need to dedicate some time to it, and I try to watch one episode a week. Honestly, for my listening and comprehension and stuff. But I can see myself watching a lot more when my understanding gets
Oh,
more.
I have a suggestion for a romantic comedy. Hold on, what is the name? Hold on, I gotta look it up. K-drama. Is it My Happy Ever After? Wait, it was Conan O'Brien was in it. Conan O'Brien. What was the name of that one? Oh, One More Happy Ending. That's what it was called. I suggest that one. Really, really good. It was basically, it's following the story of these two divorcees, and one of them, she runs a company, a dating marriage company in which they help people rekindle new relationships and find them new partners. But she herself is a divorcee, and she's having a hard time finding a relationship for herself. And she runs the company with some friends. One of them is going through marital problems. Another one has never been married and is really trying to find someone. And it goes from there. It's really, really funny. Definitely.
That sounds pretty good. I'll have to put that on my list too. Have you watched Who Are You?
Sounds familiar.
I've just watched, I think it's called Who Are You School 2015 or something. I think there's several different Who Are Yous, but the one that I watched, and that is the one where I was like, yeah, school setting, I understand a lot more. And I think that's also why I binged the whole series in like 2 sittings. You have twins, and one of them dies, and the other, like, they got separated at birth, and then one of them is being bullied and takes her own life, and the other happens to be in the area, and well, they get switched pretty much, and then only um, the one who tried to take her life gets to the place where the one who didn't get bullied and lives in like a nicer setting, and she goes back to the city and meets all the people and gets to school, and there's a lot of romantic comedy in there. I think the comedic aspect is a lot to do with her trying to figure out the life of her twin that she never knew existed, and navigating this and having a male best friend, and like, it's the will they won't they kind of thing, and um, it has to do with bullies, and it's cute. It's super cute, but it also has some deep topics, and it's funny, but it's also very, very sad at times. And I feel like this description fits like the majority of K-dramas anyways. Like,
Tough.
funny and sad and hilarious and destroys you at the same time.
Oh, I have one more suggestion that I just thought of. It is called She Was Pretty. Have you
Yes.
seen that one?
Yes.
That's a good one.
I have.
That was great. Like romantic comedy.
I have to say, I was struggling watching this in the beginning because I do have issues um, with anything that deals with self-image and what is pretty, what is not considered pretty, and when we have these like stereotypes of somebody turning pretty because they changed a couple of things. I sometimes have an issue with that, and I felt like it had a rough start because of that. But once I got over that, it was fun.
So funny.
Yes and no. I have started using it, but I'm not like I don't have an account and update it. I should maybe, but yeah.
I don't. I just go through my Viki and just kind of like read through. I just go by genre and then just read whatever sounds good and go from there.
That sounds logical. Happy ending. Who are you? I'll check those out. Yeah. Yeah. To be specific, there's several Who Are Yous, and I watched Who Are You School 2015.
Should we get some reading done?
Yes, we do. So because Amber got distracted by K-drama, we all got distracted by K-dramas.
The best distraction. I love it.
If you like historical-based dramas,
Yeah.
Amber, it's great. Thank you for the recommendation. I'll put that down for the point in time where I feel like I understand the majority of what's happening, because I think then I would enjoy something like that a lot more when I understand it. Thank you for the recommendation. Hi, good to see you. It's good that you're here. Let's get one more sprint done. I'm wondering if I should just, because it's the two of us now, and I should just start The Dark That Dwells. You're trying to fight.
I'm fighting to the end. I hope you enjoy it.
Honestly, I might enjoy it more than you because I don't go back, or I might end up hating it because I don't understand what's going on. I feel like I'm going to be one extreme, either loving or hating it. Which is both is okay. As you said, makes a good rent movie.
Yeah, it's gonna make great content.
Yeah. The Dark, I got it as an ebook because the ebook was 89 cents and
Nice.
the book cost 17 euros, which is what, like $19, like the paperback. That's not happening. Alrighty, let's start 30 minutes and see you in 30. Happy reading.
Yay.
That is time. Did you make progress?
I did. I got 10 more pages.
Yay! So the prologue and a good bit into the first chapter, almost done with the first chapter.
Okay, good.
The chapters are quite big, aren't they? It's like, or is that just?
It varies. Some chapters are a little bigger and some are fairly short. It depends on like what's happening in that moment.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was shocked in the beginning because when you opening up the book, it tells you the average read time, right? And from the amount of pages, I did not expect 11 hours average read time.
Oh, is that what it says? I had no idea.
Yeah. And then I read a couple of pages, and my reading speed, it told me 18 hours. And I was like, no. No. Not for this amount of like pages. I don't know how many does it have. It's not an 18-hour book.
No, it's not an 18-hour book. I mean, I don't know how many pages yours is. Mine's 465, I think.
I mean, it is slightly different on an ebook, but I think that's the ballpark, right?
Yeah.
Says about this book, 518.
Okay. And I mean, I feel like there's a lot of breaks too, like the chapter, I don't know if you can see, like chapter breaks. Like, it's not super dense. There's a lot of dialogue. But I don't know, it's really long. It's short, but long.
10 hours, 15 minutes, typical time to read. And then I'm now down to 14 hours. I don't know what happened in the beginning, but I know that I am a slow starting person because I need a lot of time to get into a book. So, yeah, I mean, the prologue was okay. Then we started into the first chapter and it was like, this guy is named Fall. I really, really started recently hating characters having a commonly used word as a name. Because I cannot read that. It messes with my head. I don't know what the last one was. I just had that like in I think the last live show. We had that, and I was like, it messes up my head when I'm reading a sentence and I think I'm reading the verb fall. And honestly, in a sci-fi, I think the verb fall, it happens like a lot. And it just, that just, no. Yeah, other than that, I'm not sure. I feel like the writing style is in a way that it's not easy to get into the whole world building. It feels very like I have to make an effort to understand the world. So if that keeps up, I understand why you need to reread.
Yeah. I can tell that I think this is their debut novel. And I can tell some things because there were a couple places where I was thinking to myself, okay, I wish that this section had been in the beginning, or I just wish events were like reorganized in a way where it would flow easier. Yeah, I see. There's a lot of things that are not working to their favor. Like it has potential, but I think it's a lot of organizational things and just very specific choices. And naming characters is one of those choices that I'm not a fan of here.
How did you end up picking this book for the book club?
They actually sent it to us. We announced it in. I think I mentioned it in my TBR from the month before.
Yeah, I think that's still on my to-watch list.
Yeah, they sent it to us, and then we were like, oh, is this something we want for the club? And then we were looking at different booktubers who we saw gave this 5 stars, and we're like, oh, okay, if other friends of ours really liked it, chances are we'll like it, so we're going to recommend it for the club. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case for me. I don't know how everyone else is doing. I'm hoping they're having a better time.
And they might. I mean, and I
Right.
might enjoy it. I think that I need to finish Lady of the Devices first, just to make sure I have a little bit more of a pause between Record of a Space Born Few and this one.
Mhm.
Uh, World building in the beginning is so much effort to get into, but then again, it could be so similar to Record of a Spaceborne Few, even if it's not. But
Mhm.
I feel my mind reaching towards that world and trying to pull it over. So it's the same when I read two fantasies that are set in like a European inspired, middle age inspired kind of setting. I start mixing up things and trying to, especially when I'm trying to get into one world, trying to get the information from the other because I know this one, you know.
Mhm.
So I think I need a little bit more of a pause, and maybe just a good night's sleep.
Makes sense.
But who knows? Maybe I'm gonna enjoy it. So I mean, I'm hoping that I will. I had to step away and do some things. I'll stay for one more sprint and then it's time to sleep for me. Hi, Sunny. How long will you be going today? Today, unfortunately, not long at all. Um, I have an early day tomorrow. Connor and Kaylani already left, so we're pretty much at the end of the show. Um, Next week we're gonna do it longer again, I'm pretty sure, but today, yeah, I have an appointment to get my hair done after
Yay!
tomorrow. I'm still looking forward to that. I have a doctor's appointment before that, so that get the shitty thing first done first, and then getting my hair done. So a
Oh,
long day.
that's so nice.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. Like I mean, this isn't just grown out a little. It's bad, and I feel like I've been struggling with my hair so much because after my surgery a little over a year ago, it's very common that after that surgery, people lose a lot of hair,
Mm.
and I feel like I have lost around half the volume that I had. So literally half the hair that I had. Like when I did this like 2 years ago, I had like so many curls and stuff, and now I
Mm.
have a few. But I can tell that they're starting to regrow. So I have an insane amount of baby hair, and I cannot tame it, and it's starting to look weird. And then my tips are completely ruined from like bleaching and stuff.
You're
I
gonna cut.
need a hair doctor.
So you're gonna get a cut and color tomorrow?
I'm I'm not sure. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get color, but let's see what it's a new hairstylist that I'm working with. What they're gonna tell me. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna tell me to cut it, but I also always feel bad when cutting it. But then I know that I need to cut it a little. I don't know. I don't know. Your hair isn't easy either, is it?
Absolutely not. It's really thick and heavy. I have and had it cut since 2019, since before quarantine and everything. I have enough hair on my head for 3 people, so I'd be happy to give some away. I really would.
I
Um,
will.
every time I go to the hair salon and like they give me the whatever price it is, and then when they sit down, they start touching my hair. They go, "Oh, this is a lot of hair." I'm like, "I know. It's really heavy. It's really heavy. It's like when I cut it, it's like a weight has been taken off my neck. It's just so."
Wow.
Ooh.
I mean, I had the volume, but don't feel like it ever felt like this heavy, the way that you're describing it.
Mhm.
And it seems like you also have the type of curls that
Mhm.
are insane to tame.
They are really big curls. Yeah, I use a lot of product in my hair just because it gets really nice and big and voluminous, and I love it. It's just really heavy.
I love it. I don't know if you've been similar, but when I grew up, like I mean, these are not natural curls right now, but I have this type of natural curl. And when I brush my hair, you destroy the curls, right? So when I brush my hair, it looks like I have a pile of straw on my head because I destroyed the curls and they just look crappy. And when I was younger, because you don't leave the house without brushing your hair, my hair always looked horrible until like I understood how to deal with like curly. Well, it's not. It's like wavy hair
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a thing that like people teach you necessarily. It's like you brush your hair, you put it up in a ponytail, and then you go to school, kind of deal, you know? I don't know if you had the same thing where people made you brush your hair where it's not the best.
Absolutely. My mother had every day was a ponytail and every day was brushed like I don't know how. I felt like forever as a kid. But like really sleek back then brushed. Or usually like a bowl cut because she's like, it's too much hair, we're cutting it. I'm like, no. So I didn't really like start taking care of my hair until I was in my 20s. Like, oh, okay, I want to know how to actually take care of my hair.
When I think when people started talking on YouTube about how it's done, it's when I started learning properly. I'm 33% into Frankenstein, which I had to throw into my TBR because of uni. Well, enjoy it. My son read it for school and he loved it. And he's not a reader, so I have a feeling you're gonna love it. 25 pages in Beautiful Liar. Great progress. You made really good progress. You do to 30 pages of Revenge of Seven. Just 5 chapters. Oh, you're gonna finish that today. Got to page 193, aiming to get to 222. Yeah, you'll finish that after the live in like no time.
Yeah.
I finished the book today no matter what. I feel you. I feel you. Oh no, wish I joined sooner, but I totally understand that. Yeah, I mean sometimes that's just what happens. I mean I'll see you probably again next week. And I hope by next week that we're also actually able to announce we're actually planning a readathon. Everybody who was on last week's live, I feel like the people who watched last week's live might already have seen the vibes coming that this is forming a book club / readathon, and we have some really cool things planned. But we're just trying to navigate through the last like organizational things, but we're planning a readathon probably for the last 2 weeks of May. So
nice. That's gonna be so fun. I'll keep an eye out for it.
yeah, so what we can already pretty much say is that we are trying to theme it around learning more about a certain topic to become a better ally of some space, and yeah, that's
Nice.
that I always enjoy too. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
That sounds actually like a great idea.
Yeah, we have some fun ideas to take readathon / book club to things that haven't been done before on BookTube. So leaning on the known and just adding this one step to it to make it different. I hope people enjoy it. Sunny, you can write to me if you want to do sprints. I have to finish my book. So that's cool. Yeah, let's form sprints. I need to get further into Frankenstein. I need sprints. You two go do sprints together. I decided to use lockdown as a time to embrace my gray hair. I like my highlights, but they are so expensive. I'll probably wait a little longer before I chop it again. I love that you were able to embrace your gray hair. That's a milestone.
Yes.
It's also so weird. People get gray hair at such different stages in their life. Like I think my sister was 25 when she started like becoming gray, and I'm 39. I have the same genes, but I mean, you could see this has grown out. I'm 39, and I mean, I have few gray hairs, but you can't see them really. Like,
Yeah, I've started getting a couple already, and I'm 29, so they're in there somewhere.
yeah, I'm pretty like I'm denying this. I'm not getting old with my hair, and I think I'm doing quite well so far.
You're doing great.
70% into Midnight Royals, book 1 by Tori Lee on Kindle. Very well done. My hair is heavy and thick, and I have a lot of hair, but my hair is straight, and I can't even curl it because it just goes back to straight after. I get that. You know what you might have to try is the Dyson Airwrap. I know it's super expensive and probably not something in your price range right now because you're still a student, but in the future, or just like try it, because the difference is that the Dyson Airwrap does it while your hair is wet. And although it's not for everybody's hair type, I feel like for straighter hair, it's really good if you do it right. When I got it first, I did it with, like, any other tool. You use it when your hair is dry, so you don't burn your hair. And I used it dry and was like, why is it not working? I spent like $500 on this and it's not working. And then I watched the video and said, yeah, you have to use it while it's still wet, or like towel, I think that's what it's called. And the Dyson uses air, and it doesn't touch like a burning thing, so it doesn't burn your hair. But I feel like it forms it better. And like my if I would have done curls with a curling iron that burnt my hair in the morning today, you would not see these curls anymore. And I did this morning, so what, like almost 20 hours ago now, and they're like really, these curls are staying strong. So this might be for you. It's all the difference between like having it while your hair is still wet, but don't do it with a normal curling iron because you will burn your hair and it will damage your hair like really bad. Sunny Chloe reads books, is still doing live sprints. I'm not sure how much longer, but she's still on. Wow, she has been on for a long time then. She started, I think, 2 hours before me.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, go join her. Go say hi. Also, Escaping from Novels is doing sprints. Now, see, there's people doing sprints.
Nice.
I'm 39 and have no gray hair yet. To the 39 people that don't have gray hair. Great idea. I might actually try that. I know hairdressers tried curling. It stayed curly for like 5 minutes to like half an hour at most. Yeah, that was the same for me, but with the Dyson, it worked for me. But again, it's super expensive. I mean, I did get the full set for like almost $400 at a reduced price. I think you can get single items for a lot less, but it's super expensive. I promised myself and my grandma that I would not cover up the grays like the rest of my family. I used the highlights to go gray gracefully over time. Oh, it's interesting that you promised your grandma that. It's interesting. I love that for you. It seems like something really nice, and embracing getting old. Like, go you. I can't. So you do it for me too, please. Yeah, the Dyson Airwrap is 700. No, it's cheaper. It's you can get. It's definitely cheaper than that. There's also like the full set, and you don't need the full set with like 4 different types of curls and 2 different types of straighteners and the blow dryer. You don't need the full set. Just yeah, it's still expensive, but it's worth it. Just try it and then see if it's something for you. Don't commit to owning it if it's not for you. I think
we're ready to wrap it up. I'm gonna definitely go take a nap in a little bit. I've been in my cozy blankie this whole time.
Yeah.
Taking a nap.
I'm really tired, which is a good thing because I have to get up early in the morning for a change. Yeah, so I'll send you the link what I bought. If it's that expensive, it's not correct. Like there's something off. It might be a third-party seller because it's currently not available from Dyson directly or something, selling it at a higher price point or something. But that price point sounds off. And yes, agreed. Just because I have gray hair doesn't mean I'm old. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Putting these two together because, as I said, my sister, she turned gray when she was 25, and that definitely is not old. All right. I think this is it. You guys go find a sprint to finish your books and tell me next week if you finished. And I need to go to sleep. You go take a nap, and then you go finish The Dark That Dwells.
Looking forward to talking about that later on this month. But thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
It was fun.
Good.